Okay, so get this. Today we're diving into AI and genomics. And specifically how they're coming together to maybe, possibly, create a digital immune system for all of us, right? So we're talking like predicting and preventing diseases before they even become a problem. Sounds pretty wild, no?
Yeah, it really is. It's a fascinating concept. Instead of just like reacting to outbreaks all the time, imagine a system that can proactively identify threats and then neutralize them. On a global scale. That's huge.
And the source for all this is it's an article called Genomics, AI, and Blockchain, a digital immune system.
I've heard of that one.
And it is packed with some serious mind-blowing stuff.
For sure.
So by the end of this deep dive, you'll understand not just the potential, but also the challenge and how important it is to get the governance of all this.
Absolutely. So one of the key players here, I think, is ixo.world.
ixo.world.
This AI model, right? It's trained on the DNA of over 100,000 species.
Wow, okay.
It can identify disease-causing mutations and even generate completely new genetic sequences.
How does it actually do that? New sequences.
Yeah, so it's more like...
Is it like picking and choosing? Like musical notes?
It uses something called generative adversarial networks, or GANs.
GANs, right.
Yeah, and it's a complex process.
Okay.
Basically, two neural networks working together. One generates new sequences, the other evaluates them against the real-world data. And this constant back and forth helps it learn and refine its abilities.
So it's not just like randomly throwing stuff together?
No, it's learning.
It's actually learning.
And making decisions.
Yes, informed decisions.
That's incredible.
It is.
Think about the applications.
Exactly. So
Use like accelerated vaccine development, personalized medicine based on your unique DNA, even predicting pandemics.
Absolutely,
before they happen. It's straight out of a movie.
It's pretty amazing.
It's a little scary too, right?
That's the thing.
Because Evo 2, like a lot of these AIs...
It's a black box.
It's a total black box.
Yeah. We know it can make predictions, but understanding why is another story entirely.
That's the challenge with all these powerful AI models, right?
It's a big one,
They can find patterns.
They're very good at it.
Make predictions, but...
How they work?
Yeah. The internal work
is a mystery,
It's opaque.
And we need to trust...
We have to.
It's recommendations, right?
In healthcare.
Yeah, especially
where the stakes are high.
When we're talking healthcare, right?
Absolutely.
It's like your GPS telling you to take this random detour, but not explaining why.
Exactly.
And sure, maybe you get there faster, but you'd be a little uneasy.
Yeah, uncomfortable.
And in healthcare,
the stakes are so much higher.
It's not just a longer commute, right?
Yeah.
The article proposes combining these black box AIs with something called...
white box models.
Okay, so break that down for me. What are those?
Think of it this way. A black box model tells you what might happen. A white box helps you understand why. Causal models, they map out cause and effect. A simple decision tree used in medical diagnosis, that could be a white box. It just lays out the logic. If a patient has these symptoms...
then they probably have this.
Exactly.
By combining...
a black box, like Evo 2, with a white box, you get
both.
You get the prediction and the reasoning.
That's huge.
So imagine Evo 2 flags a new variant of a virus. Now you integrate that with a white box model that understands how viruses spread and mutate. Then we can develop... like
more targeted intervention.
Much more targeted.
And potentially
stop
an outbreak
before it even starts.
Wow.
That's the idea. That makes sense.
And having that explanation builds trust, allows us to act
on that information.
In a more informed way.
In a more informed way, but even with all that, we still need to make sure powerful AIs are being used ethically. So that brings us to governance. Which
is key.
It's a big one.
It is.
We can't just unleash Evo
without thinking about the risks. Unintended
bias in the data.
These are real concerns. So how do we govern something so complex and powerful, especially in healthcare? The article highlights the need for clear guidelines, frameworks, right?
To guide the development and deployment of all this. And one key principle is having a human in the loop.
Even though AI might be
doing the analysis,
making recommendations.
Ultimate
Humans make the final decision.
calling the shots.
Yes, exactly.
AI might flag a potential outbreak, but
It should not be the one deciding to implement quarantine
or
shut down travel.
those are human decisions.
That's
human judgment.
That's ethics.
Absolutely.
I get it.
We can't just blindly trust.
The machines,
especially with a life or death.
but how do we make sure that's actually happening? Like, how do we make
that this is being followed?
The whole process,
Transparency. Accountability.
And this is where
things get interesting.
The article suggests blockchain as a solution. But
yes, we'll have to save that
in part two of our deep dive. Okay, so let's pick up where we left off.
Yeah.
This whole idea of chain to govern AI in a digital immune system.
And it's a big idea.
Even for me, that sounds a bit out there. Like, how does that even work?
Think of blockchain as the ultimate record keeper, right? Every decision the AI makes, every piece of data it uses, it all gets logged on the blockchain. So it creates this immutable, transparent, auditable. It's like a tamper-proof trail for every action the AI takes.
So if there's ever a question, like,
why did it do that? You can go back and see.
What data was used, how it reached its conclusion, or mystery. Exactly. And that level of transparency is really crucial for building, especially with something like this.
A digital immune system.
But it goes beyond just transparency. Remember,
smart contracts.
They can play a big role here.
Remind me, how do those?
Okay, so smart contracts they're like self-executing contracts on the blockchain, right?
Okay.
And you can program them and enforce certain rules. So, for example, you could have a smart contract that prevents the AI from accessing sensitive data
without authorization or taking actions
that violate
the ethical guidelines. Exactly. So
built-in checks and balances in the system, automated,
So you don't need a human
constantly monitoring. And it makes the whole thing
more efficient, more reliable. And the beauty of it is blockchain is decentralized. Nobody controls it. Less bias, less manipulation. And the article mentions this platform called ixo.
ixo, yeah.
They're using blockchain to create a secure network for AI agents to collaborate, share information.
ixo, yeah. You remember that?
I remember the name from the article.
But I'd love to hear more.
So they're actually putting this into practice. ixo's vision is to create a digital immune system for humanity.
Wow. That's ambitious.
It is. It's this decentralized network where AI agents work together to detect, analyze, and respond to health threats. They're using blockchain to ensure transparency, security, and trust.
Okay, that sounds impressive.
It's a big vision.
But how realistic is this?
It's definitely long-term, but we're seeing the building blocks now, the WHO, this international pathogen surveillance network, and they're calling for more cooperation, data sharing.
To fight infectious diseases.
Exactly, and the technology is advancing rapidly. It's not just a pipe dream.
Pie in the sky idea. Yeah. After the pandemic, we've all been through
showed us
something like
that
this.
We need something like this
that could prevent the next one.
A system that could anticipate, mitigate these threats before they become pandemics.
It's appealing.
It's very appealing,
Now imagine where outbreaks are detected early. You get personalized health alerts based on your risk factors.
And healthcare systems are
always prepared
for whatever comes next.
That's
the potential
of a digital immune system.
It's a pretty compelling picture.
It is.
But what about the downsides, right? There are always downsides.
What about privacy with all this data?
That's a valid concern.
Being collected. Are we sacrificing our privacy?
Privacy has to be.
For safety.
Baked into the design.
From the beginning.
That's where blockchain comes in, with the encryption, the access control.
So the data is protected.
And individuals can control.
Who sees it? That makes me feel
a little better.
A little better.
What about accessibility? Will everyone benefit, or will it only be for the wealthy?
The people who can afford it.
That's another critical point. Equity has to be central. We can't have a two-tiered system
where only the rich are protected.
Only the privileged few have access to this.
This has got
to be for everyone.
This could revolutionize healthcare.
Revolutionize healthcare.
But we have to be mindful of the people who might get left behind.
We can't leave anyone behind.
Yeah, a global digital immune system.
It has to work for everyone.
For everyone, not just
a few.
The select few.
Exactly.
Man, this conversation has been mind-blowing. We've talked about
AI writing genetic code.
blockchain as a security guard.
It's incredible.
It's clear that the potential is huge,
The
but
challenges are real.
but
We have to have these conversations
we got to be having these conversations.
right now
We need to be thinking
about the ethics, the risks, and how to ensure this technology is used for good. Absolutely.
couldn't agree more.
This is something that will impact all of us.
So
We all need to be
part of the conversation, but there's one more piece to this whole thing
of the puzzle.
that we need to talk about, and that is international collaboration.
And we get the whole world on board with something this complex, this ambitious,
And that is what we will be diving into in the final part
of this episode.
Welcome back to the show. We've been talking about this big idea of a digital immune system.
Yeah.
AI, genomics, the whole 9 yards.
Blockchain.
But let's zoom out for a second to the biggest picture of all, global collaboration.
How do we actually make this work?
Make this work.
Worldwide.
That is the question, is it? Because even with the best technology, this digital immune system,
It's not going to work.
it can't be effective. If countries aren't working together,
Exactly.
it's like trying to fight a pandemic.
Right.
But every country has its own plan, hoarding its own resources.
We've seen how well that worked. Not very well. So the article really stresses that a shared vision is really key.
So less competition, more cooperation,
That goes beyond,
national interest.
but how realistic is that with all the
Absolutely.
political tensions and stuff?
It's a big challenge. But think about it. A global health crisis, I mean,
Yeah.
it impacts
It does.
regardless of where they live. Their political views, the pandemic was a huge wake-up call. It showed us we're all connected, and a threat to one is a threat to all.
I see your point, but even if countries agree
On the goal. How do we
put it into practice?
Yeah, we're talking about sharing data,
Sensitive health data,
coordinating research.
pooling resources, that's a lot of moving pieces.
But the article points to organizations like
The WHO.
they can play a key role in facilitating this. They have the experience, the global reach. They can bring nations together, establish a framework.
The WHO has always
They have.
been about global cooperation. What makes this
Different. Why now?
the game changer is the technology blockchain. Decentralized nature, secure nature, it can build trust, makes data sharing much easier.
So imagine like a global blockchain
Full network where countries can share their
data
knowing it's secure.
and only
Like recognize
authorized people can see it.
exactly.
And
They
researchers
can analyze it worldwide,
track outbreaks,
identify threats,
develop countermeasures,
and it's tamper-proof.
so we can trust it. That's essential for trust
Right.
between nations
But what about countries
that are less developed
technologically advanced
or
or
hesitant to share.
hesitant to share?
That's where capacity building comes in. Developed countries can
Help them get up to speed.
build infrastructure, expertise, and you can create a system where contributing data comes with rewards.
Rewards, recognition,
Recognition, yeah.
like it's beneficial.
It benefits everyone. This brings up the idea of a global health commons.
The idea is that health data,
Yeah.
it's like clean air and water
It's a shared resource.
that benefits everyone.
So by contributing,
You're not just protecting your own citizen,
you're helping the world.
you're contributing to global well-being.
So it's about shifting
It's been the mindset from,
from
like
me first.
to us together. We're all in this together.
But let's zoom back in.
Back to the individual. We've been talking big picture.
Governments and organizations, but
But what about us?
what about us, regular people? What can we do?
First of all,
Yeah. Stay informed.
the more we understand these technologies, the more effectively we can advocate for responsible development.
Hold our leaders accountable. You can also support
Organizations
that are
doing good work in this area can even participate in citizen science.
So
It's not just about waiting.
for governments to figure it out.
It's about being active participants in shaping the future.
Yeah, taking charge.
Exactly.
To wrap this up,
As we wrap up,
I think
this vision
it's important to say that
of a digital immune system,
this vision, this digital immune system,
as ambitious as it is,
but it is achievable. The technology is there. The need is clear.
and the potential benefits are immense.
Yeah, it's been wild.
It's been a journey exploring this topic.
AI writing DNA. Blockchain as a security guard.
It's incredible.
It's mind-blowing.
It is.
But I think the biggest takeaway for me is that the future of health isn't just about
It's not just about the tech.
the tech. It's about us.
Collaboration.
Working together.
Shared responsibility.
And recognizing that we're all in this together.
Said.
Yeah.
We need to keep having
these conversations, asking
tough questions.
Working together
to ensure that these technologies are used
ethically,
equitably, for the benefit of all humankind.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
And we hope you'll join us again
For another fascinating exploration.